So my name is Antti Karppinen, and I'm from Finland, as you can probably understand from my dialect. I have to say first to thank you, Sarah, for inviting me to here to have this kind of a small speech, what I do. And last time I was here taking photographs. Now we have Sebastian here taking photographs, and funny things happen, and now I'm on a podium. I tell a bit of my about me before we go to the kind of today's theme. So I'm from Finland. I have a big studio in Finland. We have 6 photographers. We are one of the biggest in Finland doing commercial photography. I'm also internationally awarded commercial photographer. I consider myself more like a digital artist than a photographer, because it's really easy nowadays to be a photographer. If you have a camera, you can put your card saying that you are a photographer. I have a long background of retouching images. I used to be a creative director for 13 years, almost, before I turned into photography. I'm also the best portrait photographer of Finland. I was nominated last year, and wanna be card magician. I like doing card tricks, and also I try to network as fast and as much as possible, and always kind of carrying this hashtag sharing is caring with me all the time, because with this mentality it always comes back to you. This is something I'm really proud of. I'm also a QEB, that's a qualified European photographer. So there's a bit less than 500 photographers with this title. So it's just a nice way of saying that you are okay photographer. This is me in a way. When I'm doing photographs, I'm a total jackass. I have to be, because I'm shooting people, so I cannot be nervous. You are mostly nervous when I'm shooting people, so I have to be the one to break the ice. So family is really important to me, and well, seems like picking nose. You'll probably guess which one I am from this. So that's probably my brain, usually. So as I said, everyone can be at this time photographer. So you have to kind of differentiate yourself from the crowd and kind of find your own niche. And I tell people that I'm not just making images. I kind of want to tell stories with my images. And I'll explain it a bit later. So now we are having this theme of the month, this color, and I thought to approach this through kind of a. I love doing I love movies and I love movie posters, and there's something in the movie posters that kind of always reminds me, or I get the ideas from, and there's so many kind of different kind of colors and themes and layouts in movie posters. And when you see patterns in the movie posters, you cannot unsee it anymore. So here's one example. There's a guy saying that now we're going to learn about this orange and blue contrast. I'm pretty sure the design guys know the orange and blue contrast. And the others might go, yeah, sure, right. And when you see the orange and blue movie posters, they are like everywhere. You can search through orange and blue movie posters, and these hues goes like every time. I've done my share of orange and blue. This is done for the one university, kind of CSI themed it was a recruitment poster I did for them. Here's a kind of a take from top down. Some guy took a lot of movie posters and got all the colors out of them. So from year 1914, and the bottom one is the row is around 2012. So here you can see from the movie posters the majority of the colors are in the orange and also in the blue and cyan. So it's so funny when you kind of collect this information, the orange and blue is also really dominant in the movie posters. And there's these themes going on. When you see the individual movie posters, you don't see them, but when you put them together, let's say black and orange, there's so many movie posters with black and orange. There's so many movie posters with only blue hues of telling us suspense or crime movies. But also like layouts, superheroes facing back. That's ridiculous. I mean, when you see these, you start seeing these everywhere. A lot of eyes. And the funny thing, if you started to think romantic comedies, how the people are there in those? Well, they are facing back to each other. And this ridiculous amount of these kind of images. And this is because images have trends. And of course, when there's a trend going on, you'll just pick them up and you'll kind of, the designers who does this, they will get the ideas from somewhere else. But my approach for the images, it's not only the color, it's more also like tones in the images. And I always like tie a series of images together with certain tones. Here's a, can we put the lights a bit down so we'd see a bit better, maybe. This is a batch of images I took from St. Fagans. So National Outdoor Museum. So this is pretty much the straight out of the camera images. So there's images taken, there's a sun, there's indoor, so different kind of white balance in the images. And they are kind of all over the place in a way, on my standards. They are, the content is there because they are all taken in the same place, but they are not unified by any kind of color. But when I add a certain kind of a color theme for the images, it ties them together. Now they are a series of images they are unified by the theme, they are unified also by the color theme. So now all the images go together, even the pig and the pond there, they look similar, and it's a recognizable kind of a characteristic to the image. Or another approach. Now there's kind of a greenish tone. I don't know if you see it right, but there's kind of a greenish tint to all the images. And now they are, in a different way, they are unified. In this image, I've taken all the other colors down, but left only the green. So now the theme is that there's a monochromatic images, but there's green that is dominant there. So from the first set, you will see that there's a bit of variety of what kind of a style there is in the color, but now they are all unified. This is a unified kind of a series. Here's two pictures from my Portrait Photographer of Finland series. That's my son, our dog, and the girl in the pink dress is our daughter. So I decided to go with the theme that I'm going to do a movie poster-like images, but with the same kind of style. So with the Portrait Photographer of Finland competition, you have to do a series of 5 images, and they have to be tied with some kind of way, whatever your approach is together. They have to be picked in different categories. There's images of children wedding, portraits, group photo. So you have to pick from those, animal photos. And I tried to make a story out of the images. So these were 2 images of the series, and here's the rest. So whole series were put together by a theme, because I like movies. I wanted these characters be almost like characters in movies, could be looking like any movie poster, but also the tones and the retouching style was similar for each image. Here's another case. I do sometimes, well, back in the days I did a lot of wedding photography, but not anymore. But sometimes comes a couple that just says that, do whatever. And then I'm up to doing wedding photos. So these guys gave me a list of movies they like. And from the list I picked a movie Inception, where in the dream world the perspective changes. So this was my presentation. I changed the perspective with the image. It was shot in one bar. I think the hardest thing was to get the gravity go sideways, because it's shot like they're lying on their back. Yeah, that's a neck breaker, this image. Everyone is going like that. But when I've shown these images to people, they have been always like they're staring and staring. That I would always say, have you ever watched anyone's wedding photo this long? Because when you see the wedding album, they will go like blah, 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 blah. And they will be with these and shit. Actually, it's there in the books. You can put those portfolios circling around also. But also, this is a series of images. So here's another image of the same shoot. And here, so these images are also tied together as a group by a theme, but also similar retouching and also similar colors and kind of a shades. Here's another interesting case. I was hired to do portraits for this one butcher company. And it wasn't an advertisement case. It was more like a work welfare case, because they wanted to portray their employees, how proud they are as of their employees. So we selected 10 guys from the different parts of the chain where the meat goes. And before I even saw the guys or this place, I had this image in my head that hopefully there's this huge row of pork somewhere. And hopefully there's the one butcher that's like looking like really edgy. And so this was the image that I had in mind. And they named this image Stalin. And even though I wasn't making like advertisement cases, they branded their whole website and image afterwards when they saw this image, because I think it was the most powerful thing they've ever seen. It's their own employee. It says pretty loudly meat. So here's the other employees. So these are printed huge on their walls. And sometimes when you are not doing advertisement, you are doing the best advertisement there is, because you are thinking the other way around. You are not thinking what the outside world might look. You are concentrating on the company itself. So that's what I usually do. Here's a also case, no colors, but unified theme, black and white. This is a whiskey club, hired me to do their portraits. It's a bunch of guys who have fake Italian names, and they gather around every year to drink whiskey and act Italian. I mean, imagine Finnish guys from middle of Finland, dressed up Italians, drinking a lot of whiskey. So 1.5 hours in, I was out of there, because the Italian guys started to be a prominent person in the. Yeah, that was a funny case. I also create strategies for companies, not just images, not just like single images. I like making strategies, because of my background, I've been doing kind of weird stuff during the .com time and mobile gaming. So I've kind of used that, what I have done in the past, also for my career now as an artist. So the problem is usually the companies are doing like advertisement photos, but they're lacking on the communication side. The images are not that good when they're blogging, for example. And they take crappy photos with their iPhone, but the advertisement images are good, so there's a huge difference with those. Companies are using royalty-free stock, so the company next door might have the same images, stupid images with this woman with the headset. I mean, it's ridiculous to use royalty-free images because the best images are pretty much used worldwide. And it takes really much time to search through images that might fit your article. So I started making this process to companies to make their own image banks. So it started with a need research, what needs to be done, how you are going to use images. I do these alone or with the brand agencies, because usually brand agencies have clients behind them and they know the brand of the companies already. So I might come between the concept and pre-production to the case. So we come up with the case concept, a lot of work in the pre-production. Photo shoot is usually just one line in the whole process, and a lot of goes into post-production. So here's one case I did for the one e-payment company in Finland. And I was shooting 2 days in Istanbul for their stock images just for them with certain kind of a narrow mind of keywords: buying, vacation, lifestyle, spending, holiday, culture, light, contrast. Not the ugly feeling of when you are paying, but the other one, the more softer kind of a. So you are walking down streets of Istanbul like these kind of narrow view with these keywords in your mind and try to find images that fits to this client. So I'll end up with around 300 images retouched for them, keyworded. These are the images I took from Istanbul. And the whole company changed all their marketing material from the same image source. They are using them in PowerPoints, in Twitter, in blogs. So whenever you see this image, because it's unified with the color theme, they go together. So they have around 250 or to 300 images like this. And these are not stock images. There's not any like them anywhere. It's just made for them. So with these cases, I always tie them together by theme and also with this certain kind of color. Here's another case, one IT company. So with these, we came up with this concept of having texture in the image. We had to show digital life, a mobile life, lifestyle, moving and online. So I went to London to shoot 2 days, and since I needed to have more edgy backgrounds, I went to Camden mostly. Because in Camden there's this brick and mortar feel almost, and there's graffitis and a lot of textures. But in London everyone is like this, like all the time walking, and they're in their own kind of a small circle. So, but this time I dropped all the colors, but left only the most visible color there. So they have again this kind of huge 300 images image bank, keyworded, so they will find images from this bank. Here's another kind of interesting case, because I say that I do also like strategies. This was really weird approach because I know this company was doing their 2020 vision, so I pitched them idea to make it visual. So we would make 10 images of 10 teams of the company to show to everyone what the company's staff really wants from the future. So again, this is not advertisement, this is made for the company's core to see where the employees want to take the company. So this is a user interface, guys. They wanted to have pastel colors, they wanted to have a unicorn, they loved unicorns. They say that, okay, we are user interface guys and graphic designing, and we kind of turn shit into diamonds. So I made the unicorn crapping diamonds. So the whole image is a kind of one user interface. There's hidden meanings for them. It's because it's done for the company's core. It's good to look at, but it's more meaning to the company itself. They wanted to have tits. There's, well, in a form of statue. And of course, because they wanted to have, it's a company where it's 120, almost 120 employees. They wanted to have more women in the team. So I added a blank space for the women there. So, and this company actually said a couple of weeks ago that we're going to hire 20 new women in our team next year. So these images are guiding them. Tits are guiding. It's a funny way of making strategy in a way. This is a Linux programming guys from the same. So I made them penguins, and there's so many hidden information also. I made 10 of these kind of images, and they are again tied together with these certain kind of colors. So for me, in a way, color is an ocean full of waves, and I'm choosing my own to ride, because the, well, color is physically waves. So I think that was kind of a funny way of saying it. I don't know if anyone knows, just to kind of end this presentation, I don't know if anyone knows what this image is all about. I was walking the streets here and I saw this, and there was this one old guy walking past me, and for some reason I had this urge to hit him. Anyone? There's this game called Yellow Car Game, and from now on everyone is playing it. Agreed? So Yellow Car Game is whoever is playing or know who is playing it. If a player sees a yellow car, you can hit the other guy as hard as you want. And the game is always on. I mean, wherever you see it, and you can just punch it. But only yellow cars are allowed. I mean, if you kind of because there's a rule also that if you kind of hit on the kind of a goldish car, the other one who you hit can get a freebie, because it was yellow. So, and you don't have to call yellow car, you just hit it. So, and you cannot use the same car again. So, but that's a really funny game. I heard about this car, about this yellow car game also, like maybe half a year on one other presentation. So I thought it might fit to this. So be kind to each other. So. There's my Twitter handle and Instagram if you make a post about things. So thank you.